Hey guys, this is a tutorial video for digitizing the newspapers at the North Mississippi Herald. I don't like long introductions to these tutorial videos, so I just want to say, first off, thank you so much for helping out with this. Because of your help in this effort, Water Valley will have one of the most complete histories archived in the entire state. So let's get started. First, I want to show you where the digitization happens, and that's going to be in the back of the building. So let's walk through the building. You'll have David and Melody's offices to your left and right, and we'll go through to the big room in the back. This is where all the magic happens. If you look to your left, you'll see a photo stand with some heralds and a TV and a camera above. This is going to be our digitization station. So the first thing we're going to want to do is turn everything on. Every time I'm finished digitizing, I unplug the lights and the TV for safety purposes. And so that's what I'll ask for you to do too. When you plug it in, the lights will turn on, and then we'll go to the camera. At the top of the camera, which will be facing you, you'll see a wheel on the left side of the camera. We're going to turn the wheel from the off position to the TV position. The next step is to turn the TV on, so we'll do that now. The power button is located in the bottom left-hand side of the TV. You'll feel a little notch on it when you feel for the power button. After you turn it on, wait for just a second, and the main menu from the camera will show up on the screen. This main menu will display the camera settings and image settings that we'll be using to digitize the newspaper. Let's go over some of the features of the camera and the TV. Our next step will be to look at the buttons on top of the camera. We'll have the display button, which is right next to the eyepiece, and we'll have the image cache button, which is in the bottom left-hand corner. So let's press the display button, and it'll show you on the screen now exactly what the camera sees. The next feature will be the zoom feature, located on the lens of the camera. If you grab the rough, broad ridges on the camera and turn left or right, that's going to zoom in or zoom out, depending on which way you turn the lens. Now that we're somewhat familiar with the features of the camera, let's begin the digitization process. If you look to your left, there'll be a stack of North Mississippi Heralds. The right stack will be the undigitized stack, and the left stack, depending on if there are any when you come or not, will be the digitized stack. Our first step will be to take the top page off of the right stack and place it onto the table with the holes in the paper facing you. Once you digitize that side, you'll flip it over and the holes will face away from you. This will be a good guide in remembering what side you have digitized. Next, we're going to want to zoom in and fit the page into the frame. Let's take a closer look. In order to fit the whole page inside of our rectangle, we will want to set our zoom setting around 24. Sometimes it may be a little more or a little less. On the TV screen, you'll see a rectangle with 4 distinct borders. Position the newspaper to where it fits inside of the rectangle on the top and the bottom, and we want to be sure that the top of the newspaper page is flush with the right-hand side of our rectangle. This will ensure that the entirety of the page will be captured and digitized. Okay, now that we're in position, let's take our first picture. Place your thumb on the photo capture button and slightly press down until you get a green rectangle on the screen. Once the green rectangle comes up, press the button down and capture the photo. Good job. You've digitized your first newspaper. Now, there's something special that we do with these that most collections don't do, and we take individual pictures of the photographs published in the newspaper. This ensures that these photos are not lost in time. So what we're going to do is zoom in between 33 and 55 and centralize each photo in the center of the rectangle. Hold down the button and autofocus and capture the photo. Now, we're only really worried about photographs published in the Herald that have water valid significance. So as you're going through looking at these photographs, just read the description briefly and make sure that they have water valid relevance. Sometimes there's articles about professors in Ole Miss or people that are doing things around the nation that I'm sure there are pictures of, and we don't want to take that space up in our local archives. Sometimes in these newspapers, you'll have two photographs grouped together with a common description or different descriptions, but still a description in the middle. It's okay if you only take one photograph capturing both pictures together. We can crop those out and save them separately. You see, we'll do this the same, and these particularly don't seem to be the same pictures or have any type of significance with each other. Once we've captured everything on that side of the paper, we're going to flip the paper over and do the exact same process. We're going to reset back to 24 and make sure that the top of the page is flush with the right side of the rectangle. And we're going to, you see it here, we're pretty set. We're going to make our small adjustments. We're going to auto focus and take the picture again, and then we're going to zoom in to that individual photograph, make sure that the descriptions are under the photographs. We're going to autofocus. We're going to autofocus, take the photograph, move to the next photograph. And now this is an anniversary or a wedding announcement. Sometimes we can't get the full story, but I do like to try and get the full descriptions within these wedding announcements and anniversary announcements, just so when we share them on Facebook or someone asks about them, we can capture the moment. Okay, so we're done with this page. So we're going to take it and put it on the left side of our piles, signifying that that page has been digitized. We're going to grab the next one, place it on top of the table underneath the camera, and we're going to repeat the process. And it really is that simple. So now let's look at this whole process step by step. We're going to take the next page on the right, put it down, put it into position, set the zoom around 24, ensuring that the sides of the page and the top of the page are flush with the right of the rectangle and the top and the bottom, at the top. Now the left side of the rectangle will never be flush. We're going to have to crop that out in the processing process. We're going to take the photograph, we're going to zoom in, capture each picture individually, making sure that the descriptions are captured as well. We've got that side done. We're going to flip it over. The holes will be pointing away from you. Zoom out to 24 or around 24. Put it into position. Autofocus. Take the picture. Zoom in. We've got a wedding, it looks like, from here. We're going to autofocus. Take a picture. We're going to move to the next one. We're going to autofocus. Take a picture. And we're done. And we move on to the next one. Now, not all pages will have a lot of pictures, so don't worry. It's usually the first through the second, maybe third page. We're gonna do the same process over and over again. Once you get into the groove of things, I like to bring in a podcast and listen to the podcast while I'm doing this. I'll even set up my phone and watch Netflix while I'm digitizing these. It really does become a monotonous, thoughtless process. It's just put the page down, take the pictures, and go to the next one. Now, this is the photograph that does not have water valve significance, that has Ole Miss significance. So we're done with that, and we move on to the next. Now, sometimes things happen in the Herald office that maybe might take your attention, and you may forget if you took a picture of a certain page or not. To navigate that, look at the top of the camera, and in the bottom or the top right-hand corner, there'll be a little button, a triangle inside of a square. That'll show you the pictures that you have previously taken. People come in and you'll hear what's going on around town sometimes, and it is very easy to forget. Just remember that the holes will face you starting off and they'll point away from you once you've done on each side of the page. And that's it. Once you've digitized all that you want to digitize for the day, be sure and turn the wheel back to the off position on the top of the camera. If the battery is low, you can take the camera off of the bracket and look at the bottom of the camera, and there's a flap, and you can take the battery out of the camera. Now, the charger for the camera is going to be in the same plug-in that you plugged all the lights in first. So just put the battery in, and you can make sure that it's charging by the orange light, and then just unplug the strip when you're done. It would be nice if you put the camera back in the bracket first. I'm sorry, guys. Now go back around and unplug everything, make sure everything's off, leave the newspapers where they are, and whoever else comes in for the next time to digitize, they'll know that they can pick right up on the right stack. And that's it. Thank y'all again so much for helping. If you have any questions, you'll have my phone number.